Jerome Powell and the Fed rate hike decision tomorrow. But that's not the big news. The big news is the U.S. Treasury actually came out and said, hey, you know those crypto guys? They're not so bad after all. Oh, old friend's back. Whiteboard. What does the whiteboard say? MJ stocks. Getting crushed. Why? Risky asset class, just like the Russell 2000, just like crypto. We're also going to talk XRP and XLM price action. Gonna love this one. I love the viewers. Y'all simply just kick massive amounts of ass. Turtles Are Cool comes in and says, MJ stonks, the roasted will have their day. How about some MJ action on the channel? How about we talk about MJ, metals, stonks, crypto? Ooh, lots of goodies. You know, the reason the MJ stonks are getting crushed, though, has to do with profitability. The taxes are super high in that sector, and because the taxes are high in that sector, the people that are public, they're not making much money. All right, especially if they're coming from Canada, okay? Anything that's brought in from Canada, there's extra taxation with that. The margins on those companies are super minimal. The other problem that you're seeing in that sector is that the actual product, right, your top line gross sales, it's just not there. And the reason it's not there is because your individual unit sales are a lot smaller. And what I mean by that is what they're able to get per item. All right, you're seeing a lot of movement. Sorry everyone, my bad. See, we could have a whole lot of fun on this channel and talk a whole bunch of cool finance stuff. Odell comes in. Odell 1039 says, thanks, love the Big Date videos. No one does it like this, bro. Well, thank you, Odell, looking fly yourself. Yeah, Big Dates video, I will have that linked at the end. It's the big dates that affect crypto in the markets. Speaking of markets, Dow Jones Industrial Average. All right, month of October. Happy Halloween, everyone. Month of October, Dow Jones down 2%, 713 points. So it's not just crypto, but you're seeing a retracement and a pullback in general from the stock markets as well. Crypto, Bitcoin sitting at 34,382, ETH 1801, XRP at 60 cents, making another fight back. XLM at 12 cents. Okay, we're going to talk about those, by the way. Render down, Rune up. All right. Tomorrow, live stream, Jerome Powell. Telling you right now, all right, 2 p.m. Eastern time is when the decision comes out on what the rate announcement is. They're not going to lower it. They're not going to raise it. They're going to keep it the same. In fact, 97.1% of people in the know that trade on this action are saying, yo, he's going to take a pause. So not looking too much to that. It's more his words. Is he hawkish? Is he dovish? If you want to get insight onto what the feds think is what the next kind of quarter or two are looking like, you should watch that live stream. All right, Albit, the company behind Freeway, enters liquidation. A judge in the Cayman Islands placed Albit, the firm behind the Freeway crypto project, into liquidation. Freeway was a crypto. Sorry, I can't get this out. Freeway was a crypto lending project that promised annual returns as high as 43%. No. No. To make 43% annual returns, you know what kind of shady stuff you have to do? At least until it halted withdrawals in October 2022, claiming it unprecedented volatility in the forex and crypto markets. Withdrawals were never re-enabled, leaving around 160 million in total assets out of reach. God, it's crazy. Albit has tried to argue that it should be allowed to restructure, but the Cayman Island judge opted to force the firm to liquidate, citing a real absence of proper accounting. So not only were you offering 43%, which is just unsustainable, and for those of you out there that are like kind of wondering like sustainability levels, 7-8% right now is fairly achievable. Okay, why? Because a lot of yield out there is super, super high. So if people are playing the yield right, they're actually able to insulate that. The spread then becomes a lot smaller. It becomes like 2 to 3%. That's very manageable on a return. Okay, sorry. So you got that going on. They're offering 43%. So if you're sitting there and you're sitting in something's like 12, 13, 14, 50%, no one out there is getting a yield close enough to make that approach soft enough to handle in a market right now that A, isn't volatile enough to play the swings to get profitability that way, to play short on the downs, right, and the pumps, but also it's just not enough volume to make action like that happen. So it's just interesting story. Just thought I would share it with you. Here is the article, and by the way, as always, any article you see in this video and all my other ones will be linked to everyone in the description below. It's all their information for it. U.S. Treasury step into bat for crypto. Gotta love it. U.S. government. You know what? This shouldn't be pre-burn. This should be freaking champagne. Because when have you ever seen a U.S. entity pro-crypto? It's always been maybe one or two people, maybe not like a whole entity. Listen to this. U.S. Treasury Department Secretary says crypto not a main source of funding for terrorists. Wally Ademo debunked the notion that cryptos predominantly finance terrorists. In a conversation with Russia's Center for Financial Crime and Studies, he clarified traditional banking systems remain the primary channel for such funding. So when Warren out there, right, when Sherrod was out there and they're ripping on crypto saying, yo, crypto is what's fueling Hamas and all that stuff, no. You've got the own U.S. Treasury, I don't know, would probably have pretty good access to numbers like that and would know how to, I don't know, maybe count money like that. The U.S. Treasury is like, no, primary banking. Traditional banking is the primary way that they're getting their money. So thank you. Recent media buzz, including reports from the Wall Street Journal, suggested Hamas accumulated significant funds through crypto. This was refuted by blockchain analytics company Elliptic, which asserted there was no substantial evidence. Ademo said, today I would say that the use of crypto is not the vast majority of the ways that these groups were funded. He elaborated the evolution of financial systems, noting while terrorist organizations initially relied on conventional banks, they then adopted online payments such as Venmo and PayPal. Maybe we should ban those too, right? Naughty things, right? If you do naughty things with Venmo and PayPal, right, you're bad. You're like a bad crypto person. All right, let's get into XRP XLM price talk. But seriously, really good to see this with the U.S. Treasury coming out saying this. I like that action. All right, XRP action. Look at this. All right, 1 month chart XRP, 1 month chart XLM. They look pretty similar, okay? Big difference here, though, is percentage-wise, XRP is up more so than is XLM during this time period. Now, the bigger key comes into when you compare the two and their movement to Bitcoin over that last time period, okay? So now, we know Bitcoin did not get any pump action from Taurus. Why? Because Bitcoin's a commodity, not a security, and that's the rest of the market's being traded as security. So as much as you want to say, no on the securities action, well, you know, then why? Okay, you get my point. So let's just look at the move here. Over this last month, you have seen Bitcoin come in 23% on the upside, XRP 15, XLM laggard 6%. More specifically, look at the movement from the 21st on in. I'm going to highlight into that, okay? Watch what happens to Bitcoin. Look at this. From the 21st on, XRP now comes in there right with Bitcoin. XLM, again, a laggard. Zoom out a little bit more and you see the separation where the further we zoom out past that month period, Bitcoin remains, okay, on the green side. XLM, XRP down negatives, okay? Zoom out a little bit, look what happens. Taurus pump comes into play. We zoom out even further, and there you go. You can see that as we are further, Bitcoin's still in the negative. We're out looking for a while. XRP, yep, there you go. Second, right behind it, XLM, massive laggard. Now, when I look back at here, okay, when I look at these two charts, I look at XRP at 60 cents, I look at XLM at 12 cents. Remember when XLM was always like a third of XRP? I mean, it was for a good chunk of time. It was really close to a third in price, and now we're seeing more and more separation, okay? I mean, let's look at the recent lows, okay? The 11th of October, this month, right? And we talked about the Dow Jones being down. Everything's about perspective and time frame. XLM right at that 10.2 cent mark. XRP at that time, 48. I mean, even at that time, that's a 4 times difference. All right, so even when the gap was narrowed, right, on the bear play, it still wasn't there. Now, I've been following the interest of the two, XRP and XLM, and I can tell you that the news with the XRP court case stuff, right, with Ripple Labs is huge. Always news pumping around that. Korean exchanges are always pumping up XRP. You do not see the same here with XLM. What's really, really funky to look at is watch this now. For the 1 year with XLM, and I'm going to change this up, okay? We're going to go and put this to the area, all right? 1 year ago with XLM, we were sitting there at a low at 10.9, and we're right now at 12.1. Do the same thing for the 1 year. Switch it so you can actually see the difference. 60 cents 1 year ago, 45 cents. So, I don't know. You're starting to see more and more separation with XRP. You're starting to see XLM, make some moves. Some life is being breathed into it. but the story isn't as exciting. In fact, too, the other thing you can notice is the volume difference with XRP. XRP has just been keeping a higher relative percentage of volume than has XLM. Post-Torres action, XLM volume has really, really fallen off. In fact, when we switch over to Stellar chain usage, you could see over the back half of this year, actual usage of on-chain products have gone down quite dramatically. Reduction by half to a third. So even on native action, you could see XLM less support. Now, some of the things that we have to start combining when we talk about that is this new data that comes out. This just got released. Seriously, like just got released. Europe's inflation eased to 2.9% in October thanks to lower fuel. But the economies are falling. European consumers fell sharply to 2.9% in October. It's lowest in more than 2 years as fuel prices fell. But there's a problem, everyone. Inflation fell from an annual 4.3% in December to 11.1%, and painful food inflation slowed by 7.5%. Ooh, still high though, right? Food at 7.5%. But growth disappeared as output shrank after months of stagnation near zero. Germany, the largest of the 20 countries that use the euro, saw its economy output fall by 0.1%, while number 2, France, scrapped out only 0.1% growth, slowing from 0.6% in previous quarter. So less usage of the chain, okay? You've got Europe, stagnation, that's not too good. You've got growth just totally shrinking here. When growth shrinks and rates are high, it's not a growth economy, okay? That's not like a time for crypto to roar. So we got to really start paying attention to this. We're seeing some growth here in the United States, okay? But Europe is having a little bit more problem, a little bit more of a lag effect. And I would honestly say that the ripple effects that we're seeing in Europe right now from the Rona pandemic action actually seem to be worse economically for them than here in the United States. Yeah, I didn't mean to go on a tangent there, but just following global macroeconomics gives me a better picture on what the broader look of the economy can look like in the near-term future, right? What is the monetary situation going to be? But now when we start comparing XRP and XLM, just the numbers don't look good for XLM, and it's not me picking on them in a negative sense, just using the data. That 1 to 3 spread happened for a long time, and it just started just widening and widening. In fact, looking on those charts, you saw as the recent moves happen, the spread just always gets bigger, but then when it comes down, it stays bigger on the XRP side. So that gap is just getting bigger and bigger. On-chain volume, transactional volume for Stellar is going down, which means usage of their products is going down. Trading, any of their fun stuff that's done on there, it's just, you're not seeing as much excitement. So, I do understand how bad the court case is. I do understand how financially it is just a mess. I cannot stand the overreach of the SEC and the government. I do not like how they did it, how they've conducted themselves. But in a way, isn't it been just better fuel and ammunition for them being relevant, especially with their victories they've had recently, with the SEC dropping it with Brad and Chris? And I mean, that's the thing. What is keeping XLM relevant right now? And when cryptos move as a whole, XRP is going to move a lot more on its oomph. It has a bigger community, a lot more news action. XLM then will move on what? Global macros, right? The better global economic picture, right? Kind of think of this, right, as a laggard. And it's not being negative. It's just, Jesus, I don't know how many other charts I could show people out there. XLM is a laggard. The way that laggards come up is as the overall economy just gets better and better, and people their risk appetite gets better, because as things are getting better and better, it pulls up that bottom with it. Right? But as you see, the bigs just pump up even more, but the lows will move with it. And that's kind of what I'm looking for the play on XLM right now. I don't really see a big blockbuster boom or, oh man, they're going to use XLM for currency on every freaking planet, or we're going to send it to Mars, or whatever crap that there is that by now everyone should hopefully have digested and gotten past. But that's just the take with a little bit of look into the Eurozone when it comes to inflation. It looks like their inflation is cooling down, but man, they got hit with rate hikes, bad, and supply chain issues, way worse. They also got bothered by a lot of Russia-Ukraine action over there. So there you go, crypto global macroeconomic roundup. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Happy Halloween to you. Thank you everyone for your support. This has been an amazing October. Catch your cool cats tomorrow. during the live stream.